Yeah. Welcome back, my Diecaster Blasters. All right, I'm going to try the nickname out for a little bit. Anyway, this is Peak Speed Lab 164, where gravity and mass meet friction. The ramp decides the result, and eventually who'll win when we start getting into this after we build this foundation, this foundational database. What is up on the block? As I mentioned, we're going through this Exotic Envy series. There's 5 cars in the series. So far, we've measured and tested 20 vehicles overall, just, you know. Um, but in this particular set, there are 5. This is number 3 of 5. So the Speedtail, McLaren Speedtail, was number 2, in case you are interested in checking that one out. But what do we have up on the docket for today? The Koenigsegg Agera R. Agera R? Yes, I know. I'm hoping I get roasted someday in the comments. But right now, this is where we're at. There we go. Look at that red. And again, the backing is the same like the other 2, with the very all color, full color imagery, artwork, illustration of the other vehicles in the set. Again, I like, it's always interesting to me how these vehicles feel in the package versus how they feel out of the package. So I don't know. Is it time? Unboxing. As always, we're doing the unboxing as part 2. So we'll do the announcement, we do the unboxing, then we'll run through the measurements, the warm-ups, and the official lap time. So now you can see it straight, not backwards, but forwards. Kind of like with the previous McLaren, it almost looks like it's floating in there. Maybe that's the way they're designed, or that's just a delightful benefit. Okay, we're gonna see if it opens easily or not. Yeah, you can definitely tell the packaging on these more premium vehicles seems to be a little more premium. And here we go. Exacto, or not Exacto. I said Exacto knife last time. It's a box cutter. Okay. So, I mean, I do know that. I just was thinking Exacto knife. I don't know why. Okay. We've got that cut. I'm going to get this out of its blister pack. It's interesting that we've only had one car that had that little plastic wrap, but so far the other ones haven't. Here we go. We'll do the usual. We got to do the up close. So again, I don't know if my hands are shaking or if that's the camera. Like, it's funny. I look at my hands and they don't look like they're shaking, but when I see it up close, it looks like they're shaking. Look at that hood. Oh my goodness. Those wheels look pretty boss. The size of those bad boys compared to the car. Whoa. Land of Goshen. And then we got the back. Spoiler. No spoiler alert. Yeah, I know. Check out the top. Looks really, I don't know. I'm liking it. These hypercars. So I looked up the difference between supercar and hypercars. I know John Racer 3 talks about he'll do these breakdowns with a different style. I guess the hypercars I learned are the more one-offs, very limited edition, super expensive, hard to get, whereas the supercars are also expensive. There's more of them, but they're typically not as expensive, and they are, I guess both are still collector's items, but you got your elite and then you have the creme of the creme elite cars. So anyway, I think sometimes a lot of the supercars are hypercars are almost like concept cars. Okay, now we got to figure out where this is designed or where this is made. I'm going to assume Thailand because that's where the other ones were. Got to try to get this just right. Yep, that's Thailand. One last look at the top. No, nothing that opens. All right. Time to put it through. Time to put this baby through its measurement paces. We'll be back after we do a test roll. Oh, feels fairly smooth. All right, we'll be back. Just finished entering the measurements in the database. About to do the 20 warm-up runs. As you know, we've been having some issues with the robotics, the Play Robotics starting gate. So now I run a little test before, we do these warm-ups. The test worked fine for now, so hopefully it'll be fine for the rest of the warm-ups and then the official lap. So what do you say we put her in her starting gate and we get her running? As always, here's the very first run. We always like to show in the lab. She sounded smooth, but she's looking slow. But again, real riders, yeah, it just is what it is. But she looks smooth. So 19 more warm-up laps, then we'll be back for the official laps. Okay, sit tight. We just finished 20 warm-up runs here at the Peak Speed Lab Raceway, Peak Speed Lab 164. This is a short form drag strip. Kind of see a little bit of at the end of it there. Only had one snafu during the warm up on lap 12, but it didn't impact anything. The gate just didn't deploy, so the car didn't run. So there wasn't anything to do. I was able to fix it and continue to move on. So we're about to start these 10 laps, these 10 official laps. Hopefully we won't have any issues, but this car was a little squirrely. Like the first it took about 5 laps to get warmed up, and then it kind of stayed within a zone. So that was kind of an interesting thing. With a lot of the other cars, we've had we had a long stretch where the first run was always the fastest. Now this is the fourth or fifth car now that we've had where that's not the case. And also, usually the slowest lap seems to come sometime later in the during the warm up laps. But the slowest lap here actually came in lap 4 with the fastest lap, surprisingly, in lap 5, and then boom, it was dialed in. So be interesting to see how the 10 official laps work out. I hope you stuck around. If you think about it, please subscribe, hit the like button. As we all know, everybody asks, helps the algorithms, etc. Got to do it. So I'd appreciate it, and I appreciate any comments that you have as we continue to build this lab experience, the foundational database for these vehicles, as we and then explore other, like I said, other ideas for what I have set aside for racing, for testing, and that kind of thing. But a lot of cars to get through before we can do that. So foundation takes time, then it'll take off, I hope. Okay. Enjoy the 10 laps. Okay, we are here set about to run official lap 1. See, she's centered. There's the track. We always do lap 1 and 10 in regular motion, the rest in fast. Oh, yeah. There we go. Let's see. 2.073, still in that range. So we're back here for lap 10. Had one pretty major snafu on lap 2, which you saw. It put up 2 different results for lane for two different lanes, and the result was super fast. And I realized that the reason is my shadow tripped that sensor. So we discarded that lap, ran it again, and continued. Didn't have any more problems up to this point. The big issue now, or it's not really an issue. The reason we're not as worried about it here right now at the lab is because the car ran pretty well within its range. So there wasn't anything that was kind of like sticking out. We had like one other pretty fast lap, but nothing that really stuck out as, oh no, we just hosed it. It is what it is. Things happen, and we just continue to document. All right, time to plug that into the database. Welcome back to Peak Speed Lab 164, where gravity mass meets friction, and the ramp not decided, well, it did decided, but it also decides the results, and eventually who'll win. So we finished up the lap with this Koenigsegg, and one more last look. Well, it won't be the last look, because it'll get its moment of glory on the spinning pedestal. But, you know, got to show it off a little bit. I really love the design and color of this car. I, I like this darker red. It's a little, feels like it might be a little darker, richer than the Porsche, but I don't know. It's pretty sharp looking in person. So we have in the warm up laps. It took about 5 laps, and then it ran pretty much within parameters. A couple of we only had like one off. Well, one Well, okay, let me back up. We had an issue with lap 2 where as I was trying to film, my shadow tripped the starting gate, or the end gate. It's the end gate, not the starting gate. It tripped the end gate sensor. That's where the timer comes, and it gave it a result of 1.209. It also scored another lane because my shadow covered the track. So we ran that lap again because in general this car ran extremely consistently within its range. So there's that one as I'm reading my notes. Then we had a pretty fast lap on lap 5, which ended up being the fastest lap overall. So nothing hinky happened with that lap. I don't know why it was all of a sudden faster. I mean, we're still talking about, hundredths of a second, but when you're racing and cars are made within certain specs, everything's kind of running the same way, that can still be a little bit of an interesting gap. Something to, I don't know. It just kind of made me go, huh, that's interesting. So that's where we are. It is what it is. The temp today in the room, 69.2 degrees. The track temp was 69.2 degrees Fahrenheit. The room temp was 68.7 degrees Fahrenheit. We're up to 36% humidity. I can feel the sinuses because it has actually been raining all day. But hey, I mean, I love the rain. It's just not great for the sinuses, but it does not keep us from enjoying the lab activities. Um, I don't really have much else to say right now. There may be some additional information in the notes. So I put notes in the YouTube videos as well under the description because I know eventually some folks might be interested in seeing that. And it's I don't know if folks are gonna be interested enough in watching the video, they might be interested enough in kind of knowing a little bit more of the background, including like how the cars ranked within their class and then kind of where cars are ranking overall as we continue to build this. Again, this is number 2-1. I think we're at 21, 21, 21, 21. So how about we put this beauty on the pedestal? I think she needs to go right now. What do you think? What do you say? We got a deal? Now.